The second episode of the Chi Season 7 hits the ground running with bombshell revelations and emotional confrontations that will reshape the Southside community. Opening with Tiff's stunning pregnancy announcement to Alicia, Rob's mother, the episode weaves through the complex aftermath of recent deaths while setting up potentially explosive new dynamics. Tiff, still grieving Rob's murder, finds herself pulled into Alicia's controlling orbit when she reveals she's carrying Rob's baby. Alicia, clearly seeing this child as an extension of her son's legacy, wastes no time inviting, or rather, insisting, that Tiff move into her mansion. A new heir to the throne is about to be born, Alicia declares with unsettling intensity, making it clear she views this pregnancy as much more than just a grandchild. Alicia doesn't stop at offering Tiff a place to stay. She immediately begins controlling Tiff's diet. "You're not getting gestational diabetes on my watch," and announces that Tiff will become the owner of the cigar lounge and barbershop. "This little boy is going to inherit everything I own," Alicia states confidently, already assuming the baby's gender. The power dynamic between the two women is clearly unbalanced, with Alicia positioning herself as the authority figure in Tiff's life. When Tiff attempts to make decisions independently by hiring Victor to help manage the lounge, Alicia chastises her. "In the future, you should discuss decisions like that with me." Tiff pushes back, stating, "I'm a grown woman," only for Alicia to dismiss her with, "You're a baby." Meanwhile, Emmett and Kiesha are navigating their own chaotic household after agreeing to take an EJ full-time. With Kiesha pregnant and already caring for multiple children, the stress reaches a breaking point when one of the kids breaks his arm at Emmett's restaurant. The hospital visit leads to a heated argument between Emmett and Tiff about childcare responsibilities, with Tiff shouting, "I need to know if my son is going to be safe in your care." It's during this hospital visit that Emmett inadvertently reveals to Nuck that Tiff is pregnant, setting up potential complications given Nuck's connection to Rob's death. The episode thoughtfully explores various characters' spiritual and emotional journeys. Nuck visits Pastor Ezekiel for guidance, admitting he wants God to forgive me for the dirt I've done. Their conversation reveals Nuck's disturbing coping mechanism for violence. "Whenever I take someone's life, I go somewhere in my mind. I'm not in my body," and his fear that getting closer to God might remove this ability. When Ezekiel confirms this possibility, Nuck abruptly ends the session, unable to reconcile spiritual growth with his lifestyle. Later, however, Nuck returns, suggesting he's not ready to give up on seeking redemption. Gender and identity are explored through Emmett's interaction with his friend Damien, who sports painted nails. Emmett's initial discomfort, "I just think niggas wearing nail polish is kind of gay," leads to a deeper conversation about masculinity and identity. Damien explains, "I think it might be like an energy thing for me," challenging Emmett's traditional views. The moment highlights changing perspectives among younger black men and the ongoing redefinition of masculinity in their community. This friendship takes an interesting turn when Damien later shares edibles with Bakery, with the two forming an unexpected connection. The ripple effects of Pastor Ezekiel and First Lady Tatiana's scandal permeate the community after their relationship with Jake is exposed online. As Tatiana angrily confronts Ezekiel, shouting, "You ruined me," and finding herself newly branded as Thoshiana, the power dynamics within the church are upended. Charles, another pastor, steps in to preach in Ezekiel's place, delivering a sermon about judgment and forgiveness that clearly addresses the scandal without directly mentioning it. We often look to our leaders as if they're supposed to be perfect. But let me remind y'all, only God is perfect. The episode also explores relationships at different stages. Marcus and Tiara's partnership dissolves when she expresses her desire to have a baby, something Marcus, who is done raising his daughter Gemma, firmly opposes. The heartbreaking moment when Tiara declares, "I'd rather have a child without you than be childless with you," encapsulates the irreconcilable nature of their disagreement. In contrast, Jamal's relationship with his new girlfriend Dom faces initial resistance from his sister Lene, who's upset about Dom moving in without her knowledge. By the end of the family dinner, however, Lene softens after tasting Dom's cooking, simply saying, "You can stay," suggesting the beginning of acceptance. Community support systems emerge as vital lifelines in the episode. Darnell's men's gathering at the cigar lounge offers a space for male bonding. While Jada initiates a women's circle, she jokingly calls the Set It Off sister circle. When Darnell teases her about it, asking if they're going to rob banks on the weekend, referencing the 1996 film, Jada playfully responds, "We're going to take whatever we want." These spaces allow characters to discuss their struggles openly, from relationship challenges to grief over recent deaths in the community. The grief from recent violence continues to haunt several characters. Papa and Kenya have a raw conversation about Zay's death, with Kenya sobbing, "I just wish he would have listened to me." Papa reminds her that he made his own decisions, but both acknowledge their discomfort with being surrounded by death. This leads to a discussion about possibly leaving Chicago, though Papa eventually concludes, somebody got to stay. Their conversation highlights the trauma experienced by young people in neighborhoods affected by ongoing violence and the difficult choice between fleeing for safety or remaining to try to create change. Jake and First Lady Tatiana have a final meeting where he attempts to apologize for the scandal. "I just wanted to come say sorry in person," he offers, explaining that a girl he was chilling with saw Tatiana's text messages. Tatiana, recognizing the damage is done, simply asks him to delete my number and leave me alone. Their brief connection has cost her reputation and threatened her husband's ministry, underscoring the different stakes for each of them in their inappropriate relationship. The episode's ending brings significant developments for multiple characters. Tiff discovers a mysterious room behind a locked door at the lounge that neither her key nor Victor's efforts can open. When Nuck later visits, he easily unlocks it, revealing his familiarity with the space. "Duty used to have meetings back here all the time. He showed me how to pick the lock when he needed extra cash." This moment suggests there may be more to the lounge's operation than Tiff realizes, potentially connecting her to Duda's criminal enterprises even after his death. Kiesha reveals to Papa that she's decided to move to LA to be with Kevin, recognizing that long distance is hard. This revelation creates a bittersweet moment between them, especially when Papa asks if she thought they might get back together, and she firmly, but kindly establishes boundaries. "We do have energy, but we couldn't do that to Kevin. I'm not Gemma. You ain't Jake." Their mature handling of their lingering connection shows growth, while setting up Kiesha's likely departure from Chicago. In perhaps the most poignant storyline, Kenya asks her mother if she can go live with her grandmother in Arkansas, clearly traumatized by Zay's death and the ongoing violence. "I want to move," she states simply, suggesting that even her mother's presence can't make her feel safe in their current environment. Her mother eventually seems to consider the request seriously, recognizing her daughter's need for peace and the opportunity for her child to know their great-grandmother before she makes her transition. As the episode closes with Pastor Charles's powerful sermon about judgment and forgiveness, the message resonates across the various storylines. We all have temptations. We all have fallen to our flesh. We all have burdens to bear. He preaches, speaking to the struggles each character faces. His question, "Why are we so drawn to chaos? Why does peace make us feel restless?" serves as a perfect thematic capstone to an episode where characters wrestle with their desires for both stability and freedom, connection and independence, forgiveness and justice. The episode leaves viewers with multiple brewing conflicts and important questions. How will Emmett handle knowing about Tiff's pregnancy? Will Tiff discover the truth about Rob's death while living under Alicia's control? Can Nuck truly find redemption? Will Kiesha's move to LA create new tensions? And what secrets might be hidden behind that locked door at the lounge? As the community continues to heal from recent tragedies, these new developments promise to push characters toward both growth and potential new conflicts in the episodes to come.